Hey, that's a good question, Klepto. Do I have a favorite type of campaign to run, whether by genre or something other metrics, say an exploration focused campaign rather than combat or narrative? I mean, in terms of genre, I've mostly like for campaigns, it's all been sort of uh it's a fantasy genre, but I don't actually on that side of things, I don't really take my inspiration from fantasy like books. I don't connect as much with like Lord of the Rings personally, or like The Hobbit, or um, all of these things that people generally cite as inspiration. Mine, like I use the sort of fantasy setting because I think it's useful to like not have modern amenities and cars and things like that. But from a genre perspective, I think a little bit more. Maybe I could say like episodically. Like my inspirations are things like Twilight Zone and you know choose your own adventure books. I used to read a ton of Goosebumps books. Um, adventure stuff like Indiana Jones and Back to the Future. This is kind of what I bring to when I'm thinking about the the fantasy world that I build. I'm thinking in terms of like what is the quirk about this town that's going to kind of make it feel like a Twilight Zone episode. What's going to be the thing that everything here revolves around? I think about that a lot more than I think about like the politics and long journeys and epic whatever's like. So it's kind of I'm not sure exactly what that genre is, but that's how I generally tend to approach it. Um, I try to balance the campaign between uh, really what are the three, like combat, exploration, and role playing. I think if I had to describe, like if I had to focus on one, it would be the I think what I really enjoy hanging everything else on is kind of the exploration type stuff, but I don't really think of it as exploration. I think about it as sort of investigation. I like creating sort of mysteries, and if I'm going to create a space, I kind of want there to be something about how it works, right? Like if a location can be a puzzle box, what can it be like to turn that over and understand it, and what's exciting about that? So if it's a dungeon, what was the dungeon used for in the past that can come to light while they're exploring it? That can, or how are the plans of the big bad going to be disseminated through the role playing and the exploration of the town that is going to allow them to uncover blah blah blah. So yeah, I tend to really come at things from a the world is a puzzle box. How do we understand the underlying mysteries by exploring a location or by exploring a place or by talking to people, and then that sort of becomes the justification for where's their combat, where's their and those things should contribute to that too, right? Like I like foreshadowing. I like I like dropping things into the world that I hope players will notice, and then I'll just basically I'll point at things and hint at things, but I like those things to be uncovered by players, and sometimes it takes months or even like a year plus for something in a game to sort of come out. And I build it that way because that's the sort of stuff that I think would be fun. I run I am a DM a lot more than I am a player, but I think about what would be fun to play, and I think having those aha moments and figuring something out by being inquisitive and asking questions, and yeah, probably some rolls here and there from time to time. Um, that's just the type of game that I think would be really fun. Having prop letters that are an exchange between two figures in the world, and I'm the one that notices that there's, like I'm saying, if I was a player in my own game, like I'm the one that notices, hey, there's a secret message in this one. I feel like that is an experience that you aren't soon to forget, especially if it's the type of thing that the game didn't have to. Every once in a while, and I understand why dungeon masters do this because we have to be practical about what we take time to do at the table. But sometimes those things are there, but they sort of have to be discovered for the game to be successful. I think the best ones are there, and they don't have to be found. If you find them, awesome, but also the game will be just fine if you don't. Because the purpose of, in this example, like a secret message is that nobody's supposed to be able to find it, you know? Plus you, Jesse. That's the important part. It's the however many people there are plus you. I think everybody's just checking in to see if there's going to be more cat games, right? And if there aren't, then what are we even doing here?